Good evening, Honorable.
Yes, good evening.
Nice to meet you once again. I remember
you.
the last time you hosted me at your place.
Thank you.
At home, and the public loved whatever we had from there.
Thank you.
But first things first, Honorable, are you on social media?
I don't run any social media account.
You don't?
I only was forced to go on WhatsApp because Parliament these days communicates through WhatsApp. Otherwise, I had stayed out of social media deliberately.
Why, Honorable?
First of all, as a person, I'm very conservative. But two, I don't want to quarrel with people because social media is unedited. So you'll have everybody uncensored. So I thought, because I have access to the traditional media platform, let me leave social media to those with no access to the traditional media.
Honorable, you have followers, you have the electorate, people in Kira municipality. I think there is a society of people who may be looking for you through social media.
They will not find me there.
Aren't they disappointed?
Maybe they are disappointed, and I am sorry. But people who are on social media, you will see them quarreling all the time. For me, I don't quarrel. They only tell me they have written this about you, they have written, so I don't care.
How do you get information from what's happening through social media?
I consume information from the main platform media because I know that information has been investigated. By the time it is served to you, you are consuming information. But social media, you consume information, you consume rumors, you consume everything.
So to what extent would you take social media serious in Uganda?
Social media is serious. I think you now have, it should be more than 5 million people who run accounts. It's about 9, but the ones that are active should be more than 3 million people. So I take it serious. It is a platform of communication. The FDC, to which I am a spokesperson, run social media accounts. They are also friends of Ssemujju who run social media accounts, but I don't personally run any social media account. I don't.
Because these days, social media has taken another twist. The last time I was with you, we discussed on issues relating to the first son announcing plans of his retirement or the news about his retirement through social media. This time round, there are activities of birthday happening, and most of these activities are being announced through social media and maybe some parts of the mainstream media. So when you say you don't take social media so serious, yet there are
I said activities. I don't. I take it serious, but I am not. I don't operate social media accounts. I take it serious, but I don't operate social media accounts.
How would Ugandans take the news, especially of the first son announcing? Because there was this, now let me try to tell you, there was this recent post where he said that those who want me to stand for presidency in 2026, please do this. Those who do not want, please do this. So he is announcing his bid.
I think people choose how they want to communicate to the public. The Honorable Amama Mbabazi, when he stood for president in 2016, because Honorable Mbabazi, in my own view, never wanted a physical face-to-face exchange with the media and with the public. So he enjoyed communicating and remaining protected. And he chose the social media. Even when he announced, Mama Mbabazi, that I will stand for president, it was a video recorded and put on YouTube. And that's how he chose to speak. Many of the people who are on social media want to avoid scrutiny and accountability because you are speaking to an unknown audience. But those of us who speak to the traditional media, you're going to be held by your communication. Social media people can even, they can disown. Because when Muhoozi announced that he was retiring on social media, did he retire?
No.
But if he addressed a press conference, the public would hold him to account. But now the public had doubts. Maybe he didn't, maybe he did, maybe. So that's how social media works, unfortunately. So his choice of communicating is through social media, which sometimes is anonymous. Me, I like to speak directly to people when they are physically present. That's how I choose to communicate. And I know there are many politicians who are like me, who will never make a formal announcement on social media, but they will do it through the traditional media.
Is the first son playing a hide and seek game?
At the beginning, I think he will want to test what they say, testing the water, to see whether pushing for presidency is something that is capable of doing. And the better way is to do it that way. Because at the moment, when you ask government to account, they will tell you, no, these are birthday parties. Yet at birthday parties, he's making very big pronouncements. So I think it is deliberate. Having been in the shadows of his father for a very long time, I think the wise and intelligent thing to do is to first test. If I announce I'm going to stand for president, how will the public? And I think now, with the last party organized, his next move is, if he's serious about the presidential ambition, is to sit down and evaluate the response, because the feedback is now available. So it's the best way of the faint-hearted. They will make announcements. If the announcements they will make ambiguous announcements. If he has not been received properly, then he will deny that I have never had intentions.
Should we say, like the Waganda used to have a saying that he's throwing a stone to...
That's exactly what he's doing, in my own view. I am not sure, because his father, I think Museveni still has appetite for presidents. I am not sure. It looks to me, if Muhoozi eventually comes, that he will be the first person to force Museveni not to stand for presidents. I am not sure, and I don't know how that will work out. Because he's now dealing with two problems. The problem of his father, who wants to die a president,
it's a problem.
And the problem of the country, that will not want Museveni to hand over power to any member of his family. And he's testing, I think, both of them. If I really command following and there is evidence, will Museveni hand over to me? If I don't have following, maybe I will say, no, I was never interested. The same way he said I am retiring and he didn't retire. You can't hold him on it because it's not formal.
So it's still too early to take him serious.
It's not early to take him serious, but he has created a doubt in his processes because he doesn't want to be formally held to account. Because I want Muhoozi to address a press conference and then announce that I am going to run for president, I will even be retiring from the army, etc. Then we will know that we are dealing with someone who is serious. But this Muhoozi of the party, speaking about unity, younger people, and then he runs away from the official declaration. So let him be retired from the military. He makes an announcement and then we deal with it. But the moment now is shielding himself by hiding in the social media.
Supposing we accept that what he is saying could be the truth, doesn't this lead to succession politics in Uganda? Succession, the first son succeeding.
There are many Africans who have tried it. In many countries it hasn't worked. Gaddafi was running Libya as a family business. Even when he faced a rebellion starting from Benghazi, one corner of Libya, he was backing out orders. His son was also backing out orders. So both of them were very active. And I think in Gaddafi's mind, he thought when he finally leaves power, it will be his son to succeed him. His son, thank God, now is not in prison, but he had been in prison as a result. In Togo, you saw Adama.
Yeah. Of recent.
So there are some Africans who have tried it. Kabila succeeded in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but only after he was murdered. It's not a very good idea of getting family members involved, because they are going to inherit all the problems, especially of Museveni, who has been in power for 36 going into 40 years. So if you're going to get your son will inherit all the problems that are associated with your presidency. So in fact, my advice is to allow Muhoozi to live a free, normal life. If after 10 years he wants to come for the presidency, it will not appear like Museveni is manipulating the systems for his son to become a president. He will be rising on his own accord. But at the moment, even if he doesn't, certainly it is not possible, but even if he doesn't get help from his father, it will appear that both the father and the son are using the state to prepare themselves, which we will fight, and I know the country will be uncomfortable with it.
What kind of environment would favor such a succession in Uganda?
Of course, military rule. Military rule. Muhoozi can only become a leader because of the gun. He is not part of the NRM structures. He has never been a military man. He has not worked that he has money to run a campaign. He wants not only to inherit his father, but to inherit the state infrastructure. So the NRM party must support him. The military must attend his birthday parties and must support him. Ministers, etc. The Honorable Mbabazi was a very powerful man, and that's why he wanted to stand for president. But when he didn't get the support of the state and the military and security, see where he ended, 1.1%. If Muhoozi Kainerugaba doesn't have the state behind him, I doubt that he will get 2%. But he wants the state, he wants to grab the NRM party, and that's how he wants to be president.
So, you want to say that he has to inherit all the systems?
Muhoozi's presidency and his ambition can only succeed if his father hands over the state and he uses the state to become a presidential candidate. Short of that, there is no Muhoozi, I'm telling you.
Can that be a peaceful? Can it be also described as a peaceful
transition? Certainly that can be a peaceful transition. In Ghana, when J. Rawlings decided to let it go, they enacted the constitution, they had conferences, they even enacted laws, and power moved from one president to another. The same applied to Kenya. When power moved from Moi to Kibaki, now both of them dead. In Uganda, if you want a peaceful transfer of power, it means the state must not determine who becomes the next president. The state must, as of a necessity, be neutral, and then allow the population to express itself on who it wants to be a leader. But if you have military men commanding the military, using all the classified expenditure money, then that will be a power grab. That will be Museveni handing over power to his son, or his son grabbing power. And we will still, as a country, be yearning for a peaceful transfer of power. This will be a coup.
Can diversion be ruled out of this game, especially now? There
are people who think that Museveni is diverting the attention of the country.
Because we have skyrocketing
I don't think
prices
so. You
of
see,
commodities.
in Qatar, the ruler who recently handed over to his son killed his father to become a leader. So these things are also normal. You've seen in the past children of kings overthrowing their fathers and taking over. Muhoozi certainly would be interested in becoming a president because all he has known is free life financed by taxpayers. Why wouldn't he want that life to continue? You wake up not worried of anything. The vehicles are provided for free medical care, free everything. He will certainly, even you will be interested in succeeding that sort of a life where you don't work but everything is provided. And that's the trouble that Museveni's family is going to face. They have lived a life of 36 years, a life of not working, of just eating and being fed by taxpayers. So Muhoozi will certainly be interested to continue with that life.
Yes. When you look at some successful families of who have had this politics of succession, you find that there's a background of politics in the family. Now let's look at Uganda. Do we have that environment? Do we have that background of politics in the family of His Excellency?
Of course, the Museveni is a political person. He stood for elections in 1980 and lost. He actually stood he stood for parliament under UPM and lost. But he's also a military man. So when he lost, then he went to fight. So there is a mixture in Museveni's family, a mixture of a little bit of politics but also militarism. And that's why his younger brother Salim Sare didn't even complete school. Museveni took him to go and they fight along. When you look at other Museveni family members, they have joined politics because Museveni is a president. I think minus Museveni, they will not be interested, or they cannot even afford. But
So
Museveni
he
has
is the
provided the
inspiration.
foundation for them to engage in public life. And I think maybe if Muhoozi ever stands for president, then you will have that family as a political. But they are not a political family known in Uganda.
How can this move, if at all it is true, how can it be separated from a monarch?
Of course, if Museveni hands over power to his son, or hands over the state to his son, Museveni will have established a presidential monarch. It may not be a monarch like you see the one of Uganda, Bunyoro, etc., but it will be a presidential monarch, that someone grabs the office of the president and he hands it over to his son. It will be very, very bad for Uganda. It will be very, very bad, and they know it will be very bad, even themselves.
Honorable Ssemujju, when you say grabbing, yet we shall have elections in 2026, then I don't understand.
You see, elections by themselves do not represent democracy by themselves. Maybe you need to learn from around the continent. Hussein Mubarak won elections by 81%. But 2 years he was being chased like a chicken thief. The party that won elections in Egypt after Mubarak's overthrow did not have a single MP in parliament. Ben Ali won elections 89% in Tunisia. He's now dead. He was also chased. Elections can be stolen. You saw what Mugabe did to Shanghai. Both of them are now dead. All the elections that Museveni has held have been questioned. They have been taken to court, and the court simply didn't have the courage to nullify them. So elections by themselves do not represent democracy. They are part of democracy, but by themselves don't. You'll have elections like the one we had 2020, 21, where the military was beating presidential candidates, where only Museveni was allowed to campaign, where Museveni used a lot of money, public resources, to go and campaign. And then the rest of the candidates were restricted. I don't think that was an election. But Museveni defines it as an election. If you go back to history, dictators used to organize election like the one of Napoleon. He organized an election, but he was the only one qualified to compete. But he said, okay, here is an election. But to be a presidential candidate, you must be this and that, and he is the only one who had those qualifications. So elections by themselves do not represent democracy, but they are part of democracy.
In Uganda?
In Uganda, all the elections we have had issues. You saw Sejusa. He said Besigye won elections in 2006 and in 2016, but he was cheated. And that was the coordinator of security then. In fact, in 2005, in 2005, it is Sejusa who arrested Dr. Besigye. And then so those elections, Besigye was being nominated when he was in Ruzira. For a campaign of 2 months, I think he did less than a month. And he had to move between courts of law, court martial, and then campaign. So those are the elections that we have had. So if Muhoozi wants to succeed his father and organize those sort of elections, he will certainly be a president. If he has the military to beat people, he has Bank of Uganda where he will pick money, he will certainly be a president.
Honorable Ssemujju, because of time, I will leave you. I will let you go, but I hope to meet you once again, and then we can continue with the discussion.
Thank you.
But in a bit to promote unity, I thought you would also tell me that FDC was invited for a birthday party.
This birthday party was not for politicians. Maybe that's why his father attended one. Even NRM people, I only saw there Tayewa, the deputy speaker. The rest were military people and other fortune hunters in town.
Maybe the next one would be hosted in Kira municipality, and you never know, you will be...
I have seen ministers campaigning for Muhoozi in Kira municipality, but if he ever stands, that is one constituency where I will get not more than 5%.
Okay, my name is Daniel Mugoya, and I've been having a slight chat with the Kira municipality member of parliament, Honorable Ssemujju Nganda. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Nice time.
Thank you.